Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sidebar Social.
I'm Jennifer Grinke.
And I'm Dana Stewart. We're happy to have you here today. How's your week been so far, Jen?
My week was pretty good. I spent it at the beach. How was your week babysitting my daughter's fish?
It was okay. Yeah, Jen brought her daughter's fish flyer to the office, and I was babysitting it. It's still alive, so that's good. Denise and I were worried. Our paralegal, we were checking on the fish about every 5 minutes. So while you were on the beach, I was busy trying to make us money. It was a fun week, Happy to be here, though, and very excited about our guest today. So we've got the opportunity to have one of our former clients on.
What interests me about today's guest is that we don't often get to talk to our clients after the divorce is done or the case is over. So I feel like we have a unique perspective today from the client's seat, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, because usually when we finish up a case, we may ask them to leave a review, and a lot of them leave nice reviews on Google, but to actually sit down and have a conversation, very different and unique. Yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
So we're fortunate today to have Joseph Looney on with us. He's a former client and former NFL player.
So what makes Joe's case interesting is that he was a professional athlete. We've had the opportunity to represent a few of those over our careers, but there's always that delicate balance of trying to protect the athlete, their reputation, their privacy, while doing a divorce in a very public forum, so I feel like that's, I'm excited to talk to him about how we navigated that and get his thoughts and perspective on how he felt from the client side of everything.
Follow us and join the conversation on Instagram and YouTube at Sidebar Social. All right, we're back with former Cowboys player Joe Looney, one of our prior clients. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Welcome, Joe.
Good.
What's up? Beep, 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 beep. We're here. I know it's been
back together.
I know, man. It's been a while since we've seen each other. But gosh, it's great to see both of you guys. You're looking great, too.
As are you.
Jen, I remember when I first met you, you were pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dana, you were doing all the martial arts cool stuff, dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got some good ones here.
I remember coming to meet with you at whatever hotel you were staying at from that moment. Right? We came over there and we were doing like a strategy session with you out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just instant chemistry, I felt like, between us,
It was. And the way you guys made me feel, when you're going through this process of a divorce, it's really hard. And, the way you guys made me feel, it calmed my nerves a lot and made me feel like, okay, there are some, stipulations in here to protect me and help me as a husband and as, a father.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the first things that you guys did for me is, I was really worried about seeing my kids because I was getting ready to go to training camp with the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had no way to communicate with them. And you guys got me, FaceTime calls with my kids. And it meant the world to me, because a lot of people don't see like, hey, when you're going through these times, especially a unique case like mine, I wasn't at the house, so I didn't get a chance to spend that time with the kids. But you guys made it possible, even when I wasn't there. So,
well, what always I found about you that I really liked was that you always wanted to be an involved dad. I feel like there's a stereotype sometimes with athletes, like they're not family men or whatever, but you were always that family man, like they were your top priority, and it was clear every time that we talked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's something too, both parties going through a divorce, it's tough on both parties. And my pledge to everybody going through it will really be, hey, think about these kids that are involved in the situation. Because we as adults, we made our decision. We done what we done, and we can't change that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wish we could go back and change it, but when I get a magic genie, everybody will be happy. But until that time shows up, you really have to focus on that and being able to look back at the situation. You got to do what's best for those kids. You got to make sure that they're taken care of because they're not really involved in it. And one of those, you guys did that for me. And, being new to the situation, going into a courtroom, I mean, you guys took all that pressure off because mine was just, it was a Hollywood thinking, good man, you can't handle the truth there. I was like, man, I don't know. Do I talk to the judge? Do I interact with this person? How does this work? And you guys, showed me the ropes there.
So how do you kind of walk us through from your perspective when the case was first beginning? Like, what were you feeling? Were you angry? Were you nervous, scared?
Yeah, so there's just a plethora of emotions.
All the feelings?
Yeah, there's a plethora of emotions going on. and pretty, scared, nervous. It's one of those points in your life where it's like, I don't know what's going to happen next. You have no control over anything. But bringing me back to, like I said earlier, you guys calmed my spirit and let me know, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to be okay. There's protections in here for you. And I think that speaks volumes to y'all's character. It's not just, it's another number. We were talking earlier off camera, it's not just another cattle stamp. Here you go.
One and done.
Yeah, it's not like that. You got two people that are actually willing to help you in the situation, which is nice because, I really had no direction at that point in my life. Even though, I'm at the pinnacle of my career. I'm an NFL football player. You think, oh, yeah, this person's got everything together, but you guys stepped in and helped me out.
We work that way with clients because we've been in your shoes. I've been through a divorce. He's been through a custody case. We know what it feels like to sit in your chair. And so we really try to, humanize and personalize the experience that you have. We meet really good people that are kind of going through awful situations. And so we try to make it, a little bit less on you and more on us.
Right. And I think that's very important for everybody to understand. It's like, hey, if you're going through a situation, you want somebody who's experienced that, because if the person has experience, they can talk about it all they want, but truly knowing what the ins and outs of this are, and all of those, we're emotional beings, it's going to happen. I don't care. You could be, the strongest bodybuilder in the world. You got to cry one day.
Right.
I never cry. I never cried.
Everyone but you.
Yeah, everyone. Right. But man, I tell you what, just those emotions and feelings that you guys had and the background, it really helped during the process.
How did you balance, you mentioned you were at the pinnacle of your career. So here you are, when we came into your life, you're the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys, right? The America's team, the big spotlight. And yet you're going through what most people would consider one of the worst things they could go through in their life, a pretty nasty divorce. So how did you balance those two things?
Yeah, I think you guys just really took it over, with the reference of football. It was like a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
You were, getting ready to go to training camp.
Jen had her whistle.
Yeah, ready to go.
Yeah.
Up, down. But, that whole experience, the work-life balance, I think it really helped me, because I was able to get my mind off of, the divorce. And you guys were doing so much in the background to help me out. It was almost like I really didn't have to worry about it. I knew I had two people in my corner that were really seeking the best well-being for me. And when you have two people like that, you can sleep well at night. You can go out and still perform under these intense circumstances.
Nice.
Yeah. So kind of what I'm hearing you say is you have to find an attorney you can trust.
Oh, amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So, Joe, was there ever a time when we were going through your divorce that you weren't sure what was going on, or kind of questioning, hey, what are my attorneys doing here? I don't get what's going on.
You know what? I don't think I've ever had that. And I think from day one, you guys were professional about what you do. You calmed my spirit. And I remember, Dana, we were in court one time, and boy, I saw you really, get after it, and in your own NFL ways, protect me. Yeah. And when you have somebody like that in your corner, you kind of look and you're just like, man, that's awesome. This person really doesn't know me from, up yonder, and they're still willing to protect me in the situation and defend me. And at that moment in life, you really don't have nobody to, in your corner to defend you, to help you out. You just got people pointing fingers. So
see, Jen likes to give me a lot of grief for how I'm a little theatrical in court. She likes to give
It's very Law and Order.
Oh yeah, it's a performance, man. It's gotta mean something, right?
Yeah, see, Joe, appreciate it.
What was something that surprised you about the courtroom experience? I know you were there a few times and kind of had a feel for it. Was there anything that you didn't expect or that you were surprised by?
Yeah, so the first time I was really nervous. I was, up all night, didn't really know what to expect. I was thinking, judge, gavel, guilty.
Yeah.
Man, like, what did I do here? But after the first time, that second time, I really, took a deep breath and understood what it was. And I was really able to go in there knowing, like, hey, I have these rights. My attorneys are here to protect me. They're not just going to let, outlandish things be said without, defending me. I object. That's right.
And how has it been in the wake of all that now with your son and daughter, like how are things going for you?
Mm-hmm. So it's going really good. And just like I'm telling you, you know, everybody, fathers out there, you have rights.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing everybody needs to understand. You have rights that will protect you, even though you're going down this, you know, long road. You have rights that will help you see your kids, be able to play with your kids. So it's not the end of the road. You know, if you're going through this your first time, hey, yeah, hopefully last time, first time, only time.
Yeah. One and done.
Yeah, one and done. But you have rights, and you know, make sure you get somebody who's going to be in your corner and help you out. But the kids are doing great, and I love it. You know, I get to see them through the possession order. That's standard for everybody, and I get to see my kids and do what I like to do with them with my time, and that time is protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you deserve that time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a good dad.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. You know, just, hey, you know, and kids are very resilient. Kids are resilient. And I think they understand a little more now because they're of age. But, you know, it's just like normal routine for them. It's normal. It's like going to school. You know, they understand what it's going to be.
I've told clients that before too, that, you know, they get worried about what's going to happen to the kids and try to tell them they're going to adapt and look to you for how they should be feeling or, you know, how they should respond to it. So if you're doing well, then they'll pick up on that and they'll do
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you need somebody to, you know, help you out so you can be well.
Yeah.
And I can't overemphasize enough how much you guys, you know, helped me, you know, the willingness to help. And even when it wasn't, you know, legal documents, you know, it was just a 1 a.m. call of, you know, hey, man, I'm struggling. This is happening. I can't believe this is going on. You know, it was more of, hey, it was, you know, a therapy session. And
Yeah.
somebody who would be there to willing to listen to you.
Yeah. I think the family law, you know, attorney and counselor at law, we really do, that counselor part comes into what we do every day quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
To learn more about Grinke Stewart Family Law, visit GrinkeStewartLaw.com.
It's interesting you said you didn't feel like you had rights or fathers have rights. Do you feel like the system has kind of evolved where, you know, that's not as true anymore, that dads and fathers are getting more rights to the children?
Yeah, I think it's definitely evolving. I think there is, you know, that societal stereotype of where it's like, okay, dad's getting a divorce, he's moving on to the next woman, but everybody's case isn't like that. You know, I think just as much as moms love their children, fathers love them the same way. And knowing that you have that rights and that you're going to be able to see your kids, you know, these are the things that are going through your head.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, am I going to be able to see my kids? Where am I going to live? What's going to happen? And knowing that these protections are in place for you is very important. Because it's not this stereotype of, oh, yeah, dad's gone, he's just not going to see the kids anymore.
Do you think that was your biggest fear in the process, your ability to have contact with the kids long term?
I believe so, you know, and because, I mean, like I said, the kids are innocent in the process. You know, we had them and they didn't choose to enter into this life. You know, we made them. And you want to be able to make sure you instill the morals and values that, you know, your mom and dad brought you up with. And it's like, hey, I want them to have a little piece of me for when I'm gone, they can still have a little piece of me, you know, in their life. Yeah. And that's, you know, it's a tough world to navigate.
And how is your mom doing?
Oh, man. Oh, she's doing great.
I remember talking to her on the phone before.
Yeah. Oh, so fun. You know what, man? My mom is just a godly woman, and she's always been like that, says what's on her mind with love. And the kids were loving it, though. We just got back from seeing her. You know, we had our 30 days.
Yeah.
We had our
for the summertime.
Yeah, so, you know, we got a chance to hang out with family and really just enjoy that extended time with each other.
Good.
Yeah.
And didn't she come to court one time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. There she did. With us.
Yeah.
Yes, she did. And man, I tell you what, mom was sitting up on this witness stand, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, how you know. Take a moment. How did I get here? But if there's anybody you want, on your side.
Her mama.
Yeah.
She was good.
How did you keep your sanity through this whole process? Like being in the NFL, going to court multiple times, it wasn't an easy divorce, you know? So what did you do for you?
So I think really looking back at everything, I really had to dive deep into my faith. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be honest, at the time that wasn't on the forefront of my mind. You know, it was a lot of other extracurriculars that were, you know, going on that, you know, we as human beings try to find an outlet in. And, you know, thankfully, at the end of the day, I had my faith in Christ and I was tethered to that to really show me after this, how am I going to make the decisions that are going to glorify God in the situation? Right. So that really kept my sanity through it. You know, he never left me. There might have been moments there that were shaky, but never left.
And do you have, I'm sure you still have friends who are playing right now. You ever talk to anybody who's going through divorce after you have, like where you're kind of giving them advice or telling them about your experience?
Yeah. And, you know, it's really, you know, you think that a divorce can't be used for good. You look at a divorce, it's just like, oh, this is all bad. Yeah. But when the experience can be used for good, you want to let everybody know, hey, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
You know, I hate it that you're going through this. You know, you wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's going to be life after this.
Yeah.
There's life that's worth living. So, you know, just handle it, be patient, lots of patience, and, you know, make sure that you're staying grounded within something.
I feel like you could be a motivational speaker.
No, I'm feeling motivated right now.
I think we need to get you on tour.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Sidebar Social.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right, Joe. So it's time for what we call our closing arguments part of the podcast here. And I want to tie it into what you said earlier, that you were just on vacation with your beautiful kids. You got your 30 days, right? So we'll just talk about a situation, just hypothetically, because we deal with this a lot. We'll say that I represent somebody who is having struggles with their soon-to-be ex. The ex that Jennifer represents wants to have possession of the kids Christmas Day. Every Christmas, she should always have it. My client wants to be able to share in that. We're going to go back and forth, kind of present some opposing positions here. Then we're going to let you be the judge. You get that gavel and put your robe on, and then you can tell us what you think, okay?
Let's go.
All right, so counselor?
Well, I think that my client, Mother, should have Christmas every year. She makes it very special. Warm cookies, a Santa comes in, presents are wrapped amazingly, and Dad does nothing. Dad has Amazon boxes. He might be drunk. Like, nothing good is going on. So we should give it to Mom every year.
Well, first of all, he's drinking eggnog, which is a staple at Christmas time, okay? But I think what I would say to that first is that's not how it works in the family code. My client's going to get Christmas time possession. But beyond that, I think that there's a way to find a compromise there. Potentially, okay, if Jennifer's client's real big on Christmas Day, maybe my client can get Christmas Eve, right? Spend Christmas Eve. They could do cookies, maybe open a few presents, then take the kids back over. Then they can do Christmas at Mom's house. And maybe later that day, Dad could get them again. So they could each have a little bit of Christmas time. Mm-hmm. Everybody wins.
No question.
What do you think, Joe?
Well, I definitely understand both sides of the closing arguments. You know, I can understand why Mom, she may have some emotions or feelings going on, especially, you know, towards your ex, especially if it's fresh, you know, that wound is still open. And I would definitely challenge her in the fact that, hey, you know, these kids need to see their dad. You know, they need to see their dad. And if there's some kind of compromise you can get to, please make that happen. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard work. You know, it's going to be hard work. But with those feelings and emotions, you got to process those feelings and emotions first before you make a decision, because we all know emotions do not have intellect. All right. So if you're making a decision just on your emotions, it's probably not going to be the right one. So I would say in the case, you definitely want the kids to see both parents. You want both parents to be able to enjoy that time with the kids. I think just allowing that, you know, the kid can see both Mom and Dad, they'll appreciate you later on in life for that and be like, okay, Mom and Dad dealt with this in a very, you know, amicable way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Joe, look, it's been really great having you on the podcast. We appreciate you coming on. So happy to see that you're doing well. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, it's been great catching up with you. It's like catching up with an old friend.
I know, guys. It's really been a good time, man. I'm so thankful again for everything you guys did for me. You know, if you're looking for two people to help you out, Jen and Dana, they'll be in your corner. They'll fight for you. So thank you guys for everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, we'll see you guys next time on Sidebar Social.